Hi, I'm Tony Russo, and this is a bonus episode of Funeral Service Insider where we're going to speak with Kates-Boylston publisher Sofia Goller. As a veteran of the publishing industry, she brought a lot of great new ideas to Kates-Boylston over her last 3 years, but last year she suggested that we institute an advisory board to kind of build community among some of the industry leaders. It's a great program, and she's going to talk all about it. So let me get you to Sophia real quick, and I will catch you on the other side with a few announcements. And here's Sophia. So when you first mentioned the advisory board at one of the meetings, it was something that I wasn't familiar with. I've worked at papers that had ombudsman before, but never an advisory board. So where did you come up with this idea that we could use one, and what do you hope to get out of it?
Well, I think it's twofold. In my former careers, I've worked on academic journals, and there was either a peer review group or an advisory board. And I realized the value that they brought to the publication and to our organization. Here at KB in the funeral service space, the industry is going through a transitionary period. Maybe we're in the beginning of it. I think we are. I think the next 10 years will see a lot of transition. Yeah. We've heard it from the thought leaders in our industry. And to me, we're in charge of a publication that is nearly 150 years old. And it's seen all kinds of changes, right?
Right.
And I thought, how do we weather the next 10 years? I sort of married that concept from the peer review journals to what our industry is anticipating. And I thought it'd be a great time to bring in thought leaders, experts, a diverse group of board members that could really lend their insights, their experiences, their expertise to help KB stay relevant, innovative, aligned with the needs of our audience, because that's the most important thing. We're here to inform funeral directors and those in the profession of what's coming, how to deal with it, what are the solutions. And on top of that, we have customers. The customer is expecting a different experience. So we have that coming in sort of sideways. And now we see that those coming into funeral service are really a different kind of group than those that have been in the industry for so long. So there's integrating that. There's those people are coming in with their own ideas that kind of sort of match where the industry and the actual consumer is headed. So I thought this would be a great opportunity to really strengthen our connection with the industry and position us as a thought leader and truly a guide for funeral directors.
It's so funny. I haven't spoken with anyone who writes in this industry who hasn't said, before I started, I'm like, what am I going to write about? And now it's like, I have more to write about than I'll ever get done before I die. And I know it's easy to have things fall off the radar. I mean, things fall off my radar. And this is a good way to kind of keep the focus for someone like me.
It really does. And it's sort of, I don't know if I like this phrase or not, but I don't want to say keeps us honest, but keeps us true and alert to what is going on. It doesn't serve us any good or any organization to kind of live within a bubble. I would like to see Kates-Boylston really be at the forefront of informing, educating, guiding, and really be that point for funeral directors to say, they're keeping me informed and they're being true. We're journalists, we're unbiased, and we want to bring the news and information to funeral service and those professionals.
I've already spoken with a couple for this series. Yours is going to come out first for those of you who are listening. And then every week or so, I'll have another board member that I'd like to introduce you to. And I was both shocked and embarrassed about all the things that they had to tell me that were just completely out of left field. And I'm like, well, of course you guys do that. But it never even occurred to me to ask. So having new questions to ask is important, but also getting the board members to feel like they are getting something out of it as well. And what do you feel like the board members are going to get out of this?
Well, I've been happily surprised at the engagement of the board members and their willingness to contribute and be part of this. The one thing that's coming through from all the board members is how committed they are to the industry, to the profession. For them, from what I've heard from them, it's really important, and they feel this particular time that we're in is very important. And they have just such a passion for this profession. To me, I believe they are contributing and want to be part of this, to really want to make the death care industry, I don't want to say ahead of the curve, but maybe not sort of sitting there and saying, oh, look, these changes are happening. What are we going to do? They're taking a proactive approach to this. And I am so thankful and really surprised at how, and I'll say it again, passionate this group is about this industry and how committed they are to all of those that serve in doing the best that we can do. And truly we know at times there's an engagement issue, and that's one of the things at the forefront, how to better engage, how to better inform. So for them, I think it's a personal, I don't want to speak for them, but my sense is it's a personal commitment, and they're really committed to the industry.
The people that I've spoken with also are excited for the opportunity to be able to kind of widen their voice, to be able to say, hey, I saw this, and make sure that more people hear it. Then, social media is a really difficult place to get things heard. Whereas, at the risk of patting my own back, like a direct email is more likely to strike home, or like getting a magazine delivered to your house is more likely to strike home. At least it goes to the place and the person can read it or not. You know that they're making a choice to read it or not, rather than not knowing whether they've even seen it. And that's one of the things that people seem to be excited about, this idea of being able to connect on a wider scale.
I would agree with that. I think that's very true. Certainly, back to us being 150 years old, American Funeral Director has been around that long. But not only is the industry changing, again, back to consumer preferences, It's not just about traditional funerals. It's about how information is consumed these days, right? And that varies. And I agree with you. And I think it's important that while we're Kates-Boylston's publications, we're not only publications, and we have to keep our eye on the ball as far as how we communicate our information to the world and how those preferences are being met and those channels are being met by KB. The publication is there, but again, we know that we have an industry that's changing, and we have consumer preferences on information that's ever changing. That's a way for us also to see what changes we can make to better inform and guide, and how that information is put out there.
And kind of expanding on the board members' responsibilities and duties a little bit. This is a 1-year stint, right? Or a 2-year stint?
So it's a 1-year stint. There may be some people that stay on, and then there may be some people that rotate out for year 2. And so since it's our first year, working out some of the kinks here.
Right. Yeah, no, I'm so excited about this. But I just, people being able to cycle on. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I'm excited as well. We've just surveyed the advisory board in preparation for our first meeting, which looks like it will be February 10th. And we're hoping to have 2 virtual meetings per year with some other communication going on throughout the year. I don't want to waste people's time. I want to make sure that when we're on our meeting calls, that we're really getting to the issues that are bubbling up at the right now. So survey was sent out to sort of see what, what's top of mind for our group, for our board members. And it was quite interesting to see what came back. So I'll be sort of narrowing down that list, putting together an agenda, and then we'll meet again later this year. And our goal is to incorporate those changes throughout Kates-Boylston and, see where that takes us. But yeah, I'm super excited about this. It is, again, working out all of the kinks and launching this. And I feel like that's kind of been the hardest part, because whenever you have anything new, it's sort of like, how is this going to work? What is the structure?
Right. Yeah.
Who should be included? How does it roll out? And then, of course, how do we execute that? So.
And that is pretty much all I have for you, unless you have something else for me. Is there something I should have asked and didn't, or something you thought you'd get the opportunity to say, but I didn't provide it?
I don't know if you want to hear this, but this is so this will be my third year. I'm going my third year here at Kates-Boylston, and I've been in publishing my entire career, and I'm not a youngin'. So I will say, when I came to Kates-Boylston and funeral service, it was a little different. It's different than the other fields I've been in. And I thought, okay, this will be quiet, like what? Little did I know. And I really do like this industry. I love the people in it. I love the passion they have for it, the commitment they have to it. And I'm just really excited to be part of this, to engage with experts and funeral directors for their feedback and contributions. So I'm just really happy that all of this is coming together. I think it's a great opportunity. I really enjoy the industry. Yeah, I think that's it.
Excellent. All right. Well, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Tony. I enjoyed it.
This bonus episode of Funeral Service Insider, the podcast, has been a Kates-Boylston production. It was written and edited by me, Tony Russo. If you're new to this podcast, I'd like to let you know that we put out one major feature podcast every other week on Mondays, and every Friday we have In Case You Missed It, which is a news roundup of the previous week. All of them can be found at Kates-Boylston.com, or you can subscribe or follow where you're listening now. That's all for this week, and I will be back on Friday with In Case You Missed It, and until then, have a great week.